I believe that prospecting expired, canceled in the marketplace is wonderful because it takes a negative experience out of the consumer's mind and makes it a positive one when they can interview the best of the best.
So one of the biggest things that was in stark contrast between the first agent and the second agent was that with the first agent, she was telling us in the very beginning what a hot market it was, and the fact that she had just had previous sales where they were getting a bidding war, and she was actually getting over asking price, right? So she came in with a very good picture to us, promising that she could sell the house, etc. Of course, it didn't turn out that way. The house ended up not selling, sat on the market for 5.5 months, not getting the asking price original of $650. That in stark contrast then to Scott, who came on the scene with his expertise, and within 5.5 weeks now, we end up, when all is said and done, getting full asking price, $650 for the house. So that was a big, huge, contrast to us.
Well, she was very pushy. She just felt like, well, why should I contact your family? They're not involved. You're the owner of the house, so you should make the decision. We don't need to, talk to my family. And I said, well, they're all together and we're all trying to sell the house. So she just said, well, here's a paper. I want you to sign it. I said, well, I'm not signing anything.
When I got that phone call from my mother, I was very angry, and I kept thinking, how can we remind her politely that we don't work for her, she works for us.
And at that point in time, we discussed ending the contract and canceling it. And also she was very short with us when we would come back and say, well, we don't want that. She'd come back with offers that were way below even that range. And she kept pushing us to take those offers, that was the best we were gonna get. And we pushed back and said, no, we don't want that. And she kept pushing us to take those offers.
So it came off the market, and unknown to us, we became very popular. We got lots and lots of mail, phone calls, and I'll have to be honest and say that it felt really good that 106 Helen Drive had some desire. It had a great sell factor. And so we had many agents that were interested. We knew what we wanted as a family, and we weren't going to stop until we found one, and that we, as a family, had a unanimous vote.
So when I contacted Bertha, I was like the 15th call she told me, and she wanted to know why she was receiving all of these calls. And I kindly explained to her that these are the top agents in the business calling on consumers where the property doesn't sell the first time, the second time, or the third time, and I want to know if she's actually still interested in selling the house.
Well, at first, I was kind of worried when he did call because I had so many people calling, and I don't know, I just felt like I knew I could talk with him and relate a lot of my messages about the house and all this. And I just went on and on with the house, and he kept answering them, and he says, I will help you sell the house. And I know, I just got all excited the way he managed to talk to me.
When I had an opportunity to interview for the job, the first interview was through the telephone. The second interview was against 6 other real estate agents with the entire family. And so part of my homework was taking a look at the listing as to why I felt that it didn't perform properly in the market the first time. So I go through the multiple listing printout, and I noticed a lot of things that weren't there that should have been there.
I remember when Scott gave the good news that the buyer loved our house. That was also an affirmation that, yes, we had a beautiful home, indeed, we did. And not only loved it, but willing to pay our full asking price.
What was fun about that on the other end of the phone, where they were so happy, it made me feel really good that I fulfilled what they needed to have done, is to sell that property at full price.
Yeah, I think it's actually a good opportunity when agents are competing for your business, because most people will say when you're looking for a realtor, you shouldn't just choose the first one or choose one. You should interview 3 or 4, and the more you interview, the more you look for a good agent, the better chance you're going to find a good fit, somebody who's going to do a good job. So if you're in a situation where you've tried that once and your home didn't sell, and now you're getting all these phone calls and all these other agents, inquiring. It's actually, I mean, you can be bugged by it, or it can actually work for the benefit, because now you have all these people who are very interested, and you can begin to sort through. They're coming to you, and you can begin to sort through and choose the people that you think, have the better backgrounds that'll pursue, the better backgrounds that'll produce the best results.
I believe that it's really important that when the homeowner's property fails in the market and they start to receive multiple phone calls from other real estate agents and mail in the mail, that they should compile that information and basically go through an interviewing process. And they should divide that out looking for the true professionals, because they're going to receive a ton of information, and not be angry that they're receiving a lot of calls and a lot of mail, because if they're really truly interested in selling that property, then they need to seek out the best professional out of the group. And that's done through an interviewing process.
So for 5.5 months, we struggled with offers coming in that were way below what we were hoping for. And so as we began to look at that 5.5 months and the lowball offers that came in, we were really disappointed. It was our father's legacy, and we really felt that we needed to stand strong. And lo and behold, 5.5 weeks later, we get our asking price. Our asking price. Tremendous blessing.